The Australian Ghost Whisperer with Caterina and James Jennings. Hello everyone, welcome to the Australian Ghost Whisperer. Hello Caterina.
Hello, James. Hi, everybody.
Together again on Zoom, not in person today, which is a shame, but we'll be back together soon, I'm sure. We've got to go to some houses and bust some more ghost cat. You know it's my favourite thing to do.
I know we've just been a tad busy, hey.
We've been very busy.
We've been a tad busy. That's okay. We'll get there. The ghosts are still out there waiting for us.
Oh, they're not going anywhere. They're not going anywhere, but neither are we. Uh,
No.
well, for today's episode, Kat, I was having a think about it, and I thought what a great, timely topic would be to talk about what's going on in the world at the moment in a political sense, and the kick off with a war between Israel and Iran, and the US has gotten involved. Now, some people who are watching this may not watch the news, and if you don't watch the news, I do not blame you because
I
it's
don't watch the news either. Is that okay?
yeah, of course it's okay. Of course it's okay. But you know what? I think it's even smarter for someone like you because your sensitivity is so heightened, Katerina, that, you know, and the news basically is just negative stuff, consistently negative things. And it's all about here's a half an hour bulletin about everything that's wrong in the world. Like, news is just a summary of all the shit that's going wrong badly. So people, as I said, who are like you, who are extra sensitive, I don't think watching it is probably a good idea. But you figure that out for yourself, I'm sure. Like that's why you avoid it, right? Because it's just like a cycle of awful stuff. Would that be
Mhm.
fair to say?
The program, very negative programming,
It
make
is.
make you feel very depressed after watching the news.
Yeah.
Rather than trying to manifest good things into the world, we get bogged down by that daily brainwashing, and then,
Yeah.
like you said, this is wrong and that's wrong and
Mm.
this is good. And then all of a sudden, it affects the way you're feeling and about life, and you start to feel like everything is hopeless.
Yep. And the thing is, what's stopping people from going, hey, I'm just going to report half an hour of news of all the great stuff that's happening in the world? Imagine that. Imagine if you turned on the news and I was like, and look, I'm not trying to be naive. Like, I know bad things happen in the world, but the news is nothing but bad things. It's like, what if you had like a half an hour bulletin of all the great things that are happening in the world and you turned it on and it uplifted you and you're like, oh, life's not so bad. There's all this good stuff going on in the world. Like where is that? That's kind of like buried underneath all the negative stuff. So you know what I'm saying, Kat. You know the deal.
Yeah, I know the deal. I sure do.
Yeah. So, but look, let's talk about what's kind of dominating the news at the moment, which is, you know, the very simple version of it is, war has broken out between Israel and Iran. The US has gotten involved, and the reason why I think this is noteworthy for us to talk about on our show is that over the years, there's been a lot of prophecies and things that have basically said that when a war kicks off in the Middle East, it's going to lead to World War III, which is going to lead to some kind of end times or apocalypse or whatever you want to call it. Um, Now, of course, there are always end times apocalypse predictions that have happened many, many times before and none have come true. But just doing a brief kind of like bit of research before we did our show, love a bit of brief research, looking at sort of what people are saying is those who are looking at it in a biblical context have sort of pointed out that there is uh, some lines in Ezekiel 38 to 39 where the scripture predicts that in the last days, a great coalition from the north, which includes Persia, which is modern day Iran, will rise up against Israel. Obviously, that's not exactly how things are panning out but it's accurate enough to sort of make a link between the two. So that's one thing. People are looking at lines in the Bible where they're saying this points towards what's happening now. One that I'm aware of, which is a bit more fringe and a bit more out there, but we love going out there, don't we, Kat? We love a bit of out there. There is a gentleman in the US by the name of Chris Bledsoe, and Chris has no other way to say it. He's had contact with extraterrestrial beings. He has seen lights in the sky above where he lives for decades now. He can even summon these orbs, and he says that these things, well, the things that he sees that people call UFOs, he views them as angelic beings, and he gets messages from them. And some people might say he's a Fruit Loop, but here's the thing: a lot of really high-ranking military intelligence officials in the US have befriended this guy, have befriended his family, and not only people from, military intelligence people, people from NASA. Now, I ask you, if this guy was a Fruit Loop, why are really high-ranking intelligence officials befriending this guy? I'm just going to preface that, and you can look all this up. I'm not going to go into all the details, but trust me, you can look all this up. This is legit. This guy is absolutely buddies with some top brass in the US military. Ask yourself why that is. So anyway, in his contacts, this guy has been in contact with a female being. She has given him the name that is the name of an ancient Egyptian goddess. I can't think of her right now. I wish I could, but if you Google it, Chris Bledsoe, you'll find out what the name is. But anyway, this female said to him, this female being said, when war breaks out between Israel and Iran and all the rockets start firing, which has basically just started happening, that is when extraterrestrial beings are actually going to let themselves be known. So it's like it's the precursor to things kicking off where these beings will go, hey, we're here, and you're actually not allowed to destroy the planet. You need to cool it, right? So I'm just going to put that one out there. I'm going to put that little one out there as well. And there's one more that I also want to tell you about, Caterina. Have you heard about there was a blind mystic. She died in 1996, and she was called
Yeah.
Baba Vanga. Are you aware of her, Caterina?
Yes.
Right. So Baba Vanga, apparently there were prophecies that she made for 2025 that involved, you guessed it, a war kicking off that leads to World War III, extraterrestrial contact in the same year. So draw your own conclusions, but I'm just putting some things out there that I've read about. So I'm laying that all on the table, Katerina, and of course, with your insight and intuition, I would love to hear what you think about all of this.
Mm, mm. My whole vibe on it all is that I believe that we are in the midst of a galactic type war against the evil forces, even though a lot of people are oblivious to it, and that's fine. But people who are quite awake and in tune and have developed their abilities are able to sense and feel that there's this disharmony, there's this light versus the darkness happening. The dark side have always wanted a war because the war would then begin to create obviously the end times and bring in the prophecies that have been obviously, predicted in the Bible.
Mm,
So the dark side um, are definitely warring for war, and they are trying to put the light out, whatever light we have here on planet Earth. They're trying to really eliminate the light. This is why there is so much disharmony in the world at the moment, even within people and families and friends and, workplaces. There's constant sort of disharmony and unhappiness and grief because this feeds the dark side. And I've spoken about this many times. So I feel that, when we give in to these, when we start to, okay, we can't deny sometimes we're feeling bad, we're having a bad day. You know, But the thing is that when we're constantly in that frequency of feeling, like you're always in a bad state and life is hard and there's no joy and we're struggling and we're disconnecting from our spiritual aspect, then this is also what the dark side wants. So basically, what is going on is the dark side is very much trying to influence humanity to descend rather than ascend, and to allow the war to get out of hand and absolutely be the beginning of World War III. And if World War III erupts, then that's pretty much extinction time for all of us. Okay?
Mm.
But then I do absolutely, because I also am in touch with angelic beings, and I also know that there is a lot of love and help and light coming in. And a lot of people, more and more people, I'm hearing it even from clients, more and more people who are meditating, who are spiritually awake, are having like contact, like really powerful contact with these beings of light who are obviously trying to work through people to bring in more light, to bring in more love and more compassion and more caring. So to me, it's a this battle between dark and light is, if there's enough of us that can hold enough love, the love frequency on this earth, then that will not happen.
Mm.
But if there's enough that are really kind of holding the frequency of darkness, then that could possibly happen. The other thing is that the ETs would get involved, because if we destroy our planet, it also affects them.
Yeah.
Like that this impacts the entire rest of the planets and the whole of the universe, and other universes beyond. So the ETs, especially the angelic ETs who are very beautiful and godlike, they they don't want to get involved in the madness that's going on here on earth. So they want to obviously protect what they have, and by the planet Earth erupting or an atomic bomb going off, it's going to obviously go out into the universe and affect them.
Mm.
So if it got to that, I do feel that they would step in and absolutely stop the atomic bombs from going off, because it would affect them, it would affect their loved ones and families, and they're not going to allow that to happen.
Mm.
And that doesn't mean we necessarily escape and here comes the savior and we're good. I think that there'd be a lot more to resolve after that, where they, where we would, disclosure would happen. And I think disclosure is already happening anyway. So many people are seeing the ships and seeing the ETs and communicating with them. I mean, truly, it's already happening, unless you've got your head in the sand, honestly.
Mm.
So
What,
therefore, at this point, I would love and like to, I fully believe that the love will conquer. But I don't believe, I do believe that it's going to take effort on our side. I think that we all need to, as a human family, really come together and send the love and light out to these countries of disharmony. We are powerful beings. Again, I've always liked to remind people we are much more powerful than what we realize, because we've been so, programmed and, made to work, and tired and exhausted and just living in this box of paying the mortgage, paying the bills, paying the rent, raising kids, that we forget who we really are. But more than ever, and I've been saying this for a long time, more than ever is the time that we all need to be also spending that time sending out the love and light to these troubled countries or these troubled humans that want to, wage war on the world, that obviously connected to very dark demonic realms. And we put out the darkness. It's up to us to put out the darkness literally with our light, by sending the light, by sending the love, by saying, no, we are manifest, we're creators. This is the time more than ever. So um, we have the power, and it's up to us.
Mm.
That's what I believe. And
Yeah.
if enough of us are doing it, and enough of us are believing it, and enough of us are manifesting and creating and seeing the world as a place of peace for all life, then that's what will manifest. That's what we'll kind of get. So we'll start to see. But it's going to take a lot of effort. No,
Yeah, it will.
and I think we should be getting involved in so many things. Only the last week I was in the city and seeing all these homeless people on the streets, and just it's just horrible. We should be taking care of each other. There shouldn't be people on the streets in the cold. I mean, how cold's it been here in Sydney, Melbourne? I know a lot of you are from overseas, but there's a lot of people in Australia. I mean, why are we allowing this? Not that it doesn't happen anywhere else, mind you. Sorry.
Mm.
Why are we allowing children to go without food and water? Why do we have to have third world countries? Look, I don't understand why we can't all live the same level.
Yep.
Why we have to have the very wealthy, the very poor, the middle class, the slaves. It's. I think that all of this is a big awakening, or everything that is happening is trying to wake us up
Mm.
to begin to change.
Yeah.
That's how I see it, and that's why I don't watch the news, because I don't want to be fed all that negativity. Every day I try to spend time, and I'm no angel. I have my bad days too, like everybody else. But when I can, I spend the time, and I try to send out that love frequency. I try to imagine the world as a beautiful, peaceful place. As it's clean, the pollution's gone, and everybody's living in peace and harmony with nature.
Mm. Yeah, I'm very careful about, you know, how I react to these things, Kat. And I would say a lot of that has come through knowing you and learning from you, which is that, you could read about this war every day, you could worry about it
Mm,
all the time, you could live in fear, but I know that's the plan. I know that's what there's something wants us to feel that way, and I refuse. I'm
of
just
course.
like, no, I'm not buying into it. I'm not going to buy into it. And again, it's not naivety. It's like I realize that there are horrific things happening. It's not saying it's okay. It's not saying it's not happening. It's just saying that I'm not letting it put me in a place of fear, of being fearful about my life
Yeah.
and the fate of the planet, because that puts out an energy of weakness, and you're weakening yourself and putting yourself in a position of no power. And I think what you said is right about trying to put the light out there, which I guess people can do through meditation's probably a big one. Hey, Kat, like meditating and
Yeah.
out there.
Create a little group with your friends, instead of going out for drinks and booze once a week, have a
Yeah,
meditation. Do some
exactly.
prayers, do some meditation instead of sitting around bitching about what so and so's done or not done.
Yep,
Get together and do some good work. You'll
exactly.
feel better and you're doing good for the world.
That's
That's how I see it.
It's not that hard. Like you can just, give up watching TV one night a week and sit down and do some meditation. Like
Beautiful.
and again, we are taught to be so focused on the external in our lives, what's going on around us. There's distractions. Look at all my material things, how fancy, how lovely. And we are taught not to ever look within. And And when you do go in, you'll go, oh, wait a minute, there's something inside me which is a lot deeper and more powerful than I realized. And when you start amplifying that, cat, right, we're kind of like antennas, or we can beam out, a positive or negative signal if we kind of like put our mind to it. Obviously, you want it to be positive, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, absolutely. And, if we are focused on the war, then we're going to absorb the energy of that. And that's the kind of, we're going to find ourselves warring with each other. So
Mm,
you're absorbing that energy of what you're focusing the most on.
yeah.
It's like if you're focusing on disaster and end times, then you're actually helping to create it,
Mm, mm,
you know? But if you're focusing on peace and you're focusing on love, then you are firstly connecting with that frequency of love and you are sending that love out wherever you go, whether you go into a shopping center, into Coles to do your shopping, you're carrying that frequency of love and peace within you. Or you could be carrying that frequency of anger and warring and doom and gloom and the end of the world. And that's what you're going, that's the signal you're sending out. So, you know, that's what you're encouraging.
yep. Yep, 100%. And the thing is as well, it's like, when wars kick off and everyone's like, oh, it's the end times, it's the apocalypse, it's all over. It's like, you could also look at it as like, well, actually, we're heading to some kind of resolution that might have actually a positive outcome. Like maybe there's going to be a form of rebirth or a new beginning where things are reset into more equality amongst people. We get rid of all of the facades that we're faced in life, all the fake stuff and all the nonsense and distractions and everything that is built to distract us is taken away, and we might have a very peaceful new future as humanity. It's like, what about that? Like, and
Yeah, I hope so.
and from what I understand, how the universe works, Kat, is all these things are possible, but it's where you focus your energy and what you put into it. And if everyone was focusing on this is the outcome we want, then I think we'd all be surprised at how quickly we'd get to a positive outcome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. It's true. I don't know what else to
Yeah,
say. I mean,
yeah,
I feel like, we've talked so much about it. And I just, I think it's really important. Remember that you are an incredible, you know, creator and you have the spark of divinity within you.
mm,
Awaken it, connect to it. And you'll be amazed at what changes you can create, not only in the world, but in your own life, in your own reality.
yeah, exactly.
I think we all need to start being better and good and more caring towards each other and let that frequency spread out to these places that are intent on creating war and destruction.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just wanted to circle back to the UFO references we made earlier, because I know, there are a lot of people, who think that's all a bit wacko, and that's fine, but
It's not.
it's not.
That's okay
It's no,
too.
it's not. It's not. But like,
It's not.
what I would like to point out is that, in case people aren't aware, the U.S. government has absolutely admitted that they have captured things on radar and video that they have no idea what it is. There are objects moving through the skies that are capable of doing things that no man-made craft is. Like this is legit. Like you can look this up. The government has admitted that there are things they don't know what they are, and there seems to be a form of soft disclosure now where something will come out and they'll go, yeah, we don't know what that is. But it's not big enough that, headlines all over the world are picking up on it. But if you're paying attention, they're slowly drip feeding little videos and little bits of things and going, this Tic Tac object. If you look up the Tic Tac UFO, That's one that they captured where they're like, yeah, we don't know what it is, and it did these maneuvers that it's impossible for a man-made craft to do it. And yet it's bizarre that we're not talking about it more. It's bizarre that people, we're so distracted in our lives, we don't kind of go, wait a minute, the government just said that this is real. We have these records.
People are too busy
Yeah,
worrying
we're too
about
busy
their
worrying. Yeah,
mortgages.
exactly. It's like, but I just find it crazy. It's crazy, but like, but even with my friends, sometimes I'll send them stuff. I'll send them videos, and it's like, yeah, the government has said this is a UFO, and I don't know what it is, and look at it, and they'll all be like, oh my God, wow, and then just everyone goes about their day. It's like everyone's blown away for like a minute or two, and then it's just forgotten about. I find that wild. Like 20 years ago, if this stuff came out, it would be front page news. It would
Mm.
be everyone would know about it. And for some reason, it's coming out at a time in our society where people are too distracted to care. They're just like,
They're
yeah,
distracted by technology.
oh, 1,000%. Yeah, it's kind of like, yeah, there's UFOs, but I got bills to pay, so I got other things to worry about. But that's a
Mm.
whole other topic, obviously. But yeah, I mean, yeah, but as I said, that Chris Bledsoe guy who's connected to the US, military, who sees things, he gets these messages and passes them on, and he has had events where he summons them. He can like summon these craft now, and they turn up, and you know he's got videos. People don't seem to be making too big a fuss of it. I just find it wild. It blows my mind.
Yeah,
Blows my
that
mind.
is beautiful. That
Yeah.
is beautiful.
But anyway, so there you go. Don't get sucked into the fear mongering, and be chill. That's the lesson for today, isn't it, Kat?
Yeah, look, I think be aware. Definitely don't live in la la land.
Yeah.
I don't think we mean that, you
No.
just are oblivious to everything. Be aware that, yes, that there is a darkness in this world. Absolutely. We live in a world of duality. Be aware of that, but also be aware that we are the power and we have the abilities and have these God given gifts to be able to transmute darkness and bring in more love and more light.
Yep. Absolutely. Love it. All right. Well, we'll wrap it up on that note. Great convo as ever, Kat, and I loved hearing your take on things. If you have a comment, please leave one below our video, or give us a like, give us a share, however you can to support us. We appreciate it. And thank you for tuning in once again. Kat, thanks for your time. Look forward to our next chat about the weird and the wonderful.
Thank you, James. It's been a really wonderful subject. Um, yeah, it was great.
Yeah, great.
Really important message, I feel.
I think so too. Yeah,
Mm,
absolutely. Well, we'll be back again soon with more. But
yeah.
for now, have a great week wherever you are in the world. Lots of love and be chill.
Yeah, thank you so much to all our followers. I know sometimes we get inundated with so many emails about we love your videos, we love your, and I'm sorry, sometimes I really don't get time to respond to each one of you, and I really do read them, but I just sometimes just so inundated, so busy. And I want to say to you all that, you matter very much to us, and we love you very much, and we feel really honored that you love our videos and that you stay in tune for our next one and our next one. And just thank you for your support and love. It really does mean the world to both of us, and we do love and appreciate you very much. And if I don't always respond, I'm really sorry. It's not out of disrespect to you. It's just that yeah, gosh, my time is just so limited. And yeah, but I do read them and I do always send you love. So thank you.
Absolutely. Well said, Kat. Thank you, everybody. And we will catch you again next time.
Bye bye.
To gain access to private spiritual development classes, guided meditations, please visit www.patreon, that's patreon.com/the Australian Ghost Whisperer.